Okay guys, this is going to be an interesting video. A famous popular financial influencer or financial YouTuber named Me Kevin
Oh, hey everyone. Thanks for coming back for your morning quickie.
officially launched his ETF. Now he has over a lot of people inside of that follows finance and stuff like that knows him, but if you're not really in the finance atmosphere, then you may not know him. But he's a big YouTuber. He has over 2 million subscribers. His name, I'm probably gonna mispronounce it, but I think it's Kevin Paffrath or something like that. Over 2 million subscribers. Over the last 2 years, it says the last 2 years saw the rise of but not complete fall of fin influencers. As you know, the younger generation during the pandemic got into stocks and meme stocks with all that fiasco. A lot of financial influencers became very popular. Now, with me, Kevin, from my knowledge, is he really was, I think, a real estate agent or real estate brokerage, and he really made a lot of good real estate deals. So he was really known for real estate, and then he kind of transitioned into finance news, stocks, and stuff like that. So yeah, about him and what I think of him, I'm not gonna necessarily go too much into it, but I think he is very knowledgeable in real estate. As far as stocks and stuff, I think he just kind of recently started to get into stocks like 2019, 2020. But I will say, as far as like stocks picks in general, I don't really get that from YouTubers. Anyway, I think it's important for you to know why you're investing in yourself and kind of believe in yourself and not just kind of go off of what people say. But when it comes to, I will say this, when it comes to presenting finance, like I guess current news and stuff like that, I think he does a nice job of covering that. But let's scroll down. It says one of his popular videos was how to retire in 7 years, starting with $100.
Hey everyone, me Kevin here. In this video, I'm going to talk about what you need to retire early, how fast you can retire, and we'll do that starting with just $100. I'll also introduce
Or the rule of 200. It also said in 2021 he made $22 million. I think he tried to do some other ETFs, but they didn't. Through it says the name of the ETF is called the Meet Kevin Pricing Power, and it looks to track, I believe, innovative companies and stuff like that. And I'll go over every single thing that's in the particular fund. So I'll drop the link so you can see all the companies that's in there, all the information you need to know. So make sure you guys hit that like button. Now let's look at this in a little bit more detail. I believe it started off with $19.88. The ticker symbol is PP. It has over $500,000 in assets. The expense rate, it says nearly 200,000 shares of actively managed. The expense ratio is 0.77%. So in my opinion, that's really high. Now it says as far as the fund's top holdings, it looks like a semiconductor trade desk, and it looks like an inverse dollar bearish ETF, which means he's betting against the dollar in some type of U.S. Treasury to note. There it says what the vast majority of companies that we invest in, we're looking for positive cash flow, free cash flow earnings, earnings per share, and growth, anything to ensure these companies to prove pricing power. Now, this is what he ended up saying. As I mentioned before, he was a real estate broker, did a lot of good real estate deals, and now he's calling himself, calling himself a 30-year-old dad and financial analyst. But anyway, that's enough. Let's look at the price of the ETF. It just recently came out. Started at $19.98, kind of dropped down to $19.82. Then I don't know if he did some promotion there, but it kind of went back up to $20 and then kind of recently ended up falling. Okay, yeah, kind of recently ended up falling. So let's look at see what this one has to say. Yeah, so we already went over that. Now let's jump into Kevin's site so we can find out exactly what's in this ETF. The expense ratio was 0.77%. That's kind of high, but it actually does cost a lot of money to start these ETFs and stuff like that. And the net assets 500,000. That's not really a lot. And the fund from exceptions 828. But let's look at everything under the hood. what does it say about his stocks on his site? So it says the Me Kevin Purchasing Power ETF is an actively managed exchange traded fund that seeks to achieve its investment objectives by investing primarily in U.S. listed equity securities of innovative companies. The Me Kevin Purchasing Power ETF categorized as an innovative company. Whenever I heard innovative company, I automatically think of Kathy Woods and whenever they talk about disruptors. But as a company to be involved in the development of new products and services, technological advances, customer engagement, and disruptive approaches with respect to growth that the supervisors expect to have a significant impact on the market or industry in which companies operate. It says, furthermore, the Meet Kevin Purchasing Power ETF will invest in innovative companies that, in Kevin's view, are also have more pricing power than its competitors. So this is pretty much, the nutshell of it. Let's look under the hood and see what's in this fund. So the top holdings. So immediately off break, we see that 22% of the fund consists of Tesla and 13% consists of Apple. Let me see. Yeah. So so we're looking at Apple, and let's just say 22-14. So we're looking at those two alone right now as 36%. So that's these two alone carries 36%. So Apple and Tesla will really really move this ETF. It looks like for this must be the Treasury, 8% in Treasury. They got a semiconductor that's about 7% there. Trade desk 5%. This looks like an energy company, 4%. Oil company, 4%. AMD, 4%. And Lulu, which is 4% as well. So, yeah, that's kind of, like I said, pretty interesting. Now, let's see if we click this one. Let me see. Yeah. And if you click that one, they have it where you can see everything in more details. As far as I'll probably drop this so you guys can see. And this shows if you want, it shows the price he bought it at as well, and how many shares he have, if you guys was curious. I'll probably drop this in the description below so you can kind of, if you was curious of the prices, the securities and the prices, I'll drop that in the comments below. But all the other one, this is pretty much it. The other ones, they're so insignificant, I don't really know if it matters to cover them, but yeah, did that part as well. Now, what do I think overall? I mean, I think it's pretty dope that a finance YouTuber actually made his own ETF. I thought that was probably pretty cool. And it really takes a lot of, I guess, balls, I guess. Well, I want to say balls, but it really takes courage to do that, because people are going to be tracking this fund. So if this fund is doesn't do well, a lot of YouTubers are going to really bash him. He probably, a lot of already does, when I think he sold a lot of his stock, or I don't know, I don't want to get into that, but I thought it was like pretty cool that he actually went through with the whole process, got the ETF running and stuff like that. I'm curious to see how will this do. I am really curious to see how this will do. Would I personally get it? Probably not. I personally wouldn't get it, but I do commend him for, creating this ETF. I'm curious to see what happens, and I know in the finance community they're going to be watching this ETF. So if this ETF end up failing, they're probably going to go after this guy, pretty hard. But like I said, when it comes to finance news and covering, I think you do a good job. As far as recommendations from stocks from people, anybody on YouTube, I really don't necessarily trust that too much, because you gotta remember, YouTube is a lot of people go on YouTube to educate themselves and for entertainment. So a lot of times in the finance community, you kind of have to use controversial topics or companies that can be very volatile to get people's attention, or because sometimes investing can be boring. So a lot of times these finance YouTubers understand that, so their topics is going to be a lot more engaging, exciting, a lot of up and downs and stuff like that. But that concludes this particular video. If you really like content like this, I make content relating to finance and investing. If you like content like this, make sure you hit the like button. If you're new, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Out.